Let me try to help us out here this morning here for a second. We need some serious understanding. And of course, to obtain serious understanding in the hour that we're living in now, it's a serious challenge. And the reason why it's a serious challenge because most people have not changed this paradigm up here to suit or to fit because they have their own version of reality and their own version of history. The other day I heard Erin Burnett. She used to be over at CNNBC doing a financial program, I guess so-called reporting on the markets. Now she's an anchor over at CNN. And I watched her just literally all but, in my opinion, disrespect and dishonor Ted Nugent, who's a supporter of the NRA, and not only the NRA, but he's a national gun advocate and for the rights of the people. And I watched her use her platform to assault him. At the same time, I saw him vigorously and very well defend his position. Of course, one of the main topics is that she did not like the fact of him name calling, or in her perception or the perception of CNN, calling the president's name. And of course, she says her position and viewpoint, which I've heard this before in the military, that you may not like the man, but you have to respect the office. Well, my question and my rebut to that particular comment is when you have a man in office that does not respect the office, how in the world can you respect the man that is in total opposition of the office? I mean, when the office is not being honored and revered in the light that it should be, how in the world can you respect? Do you just automatically, just because they have power, you submit and yield to it and you don't question it? That's stupid. That is just idiotic. I'm a pastor. And of course, I'm in a position where in this world, using their terms, the etymology of words that they're familiar with, I'm in a particular office. And that office, I have a certain way I have to carry myself. Even though if we all profess to be saints, we have a higher standard of life. We have rules and guidelines. We have laws that we have to submit ourselves to and conform to them. Yet and still, I see a lot of people who have their own version of what they think that the office should be doing and regulating. Myself personally, I'm set for the defense of the gospel. And I don't mean to get off on this and make any digressions in this area, but I'm trying to put forth a point here. In the military, I had quite a few people who were in offices. They were officers or they were NCOs that outranked me. They were just literally pieces of crap. Did I dishonor or disrespect them? No. We had a mission that we had to do. But I can tell you one thing. I did not take anything from them that I would actually teach my soldiers or anybody else because there was just no quality. And there were no traits, there was no ethics or value in my own sight that I could actually learn from them. And I was very vocal. I was very tactful, but I was very vocal. I knew how to take a man to the side and actually express to them my heart without dishonoring or disrespecting them and let them know what my personal opinion and viewpoint is. Now, did they try to use their office to abuse their office because of their rank above me? They may have tried to make an attempt on it, but Pastor Dow, or at the time Sergeant Dow, wasn't going for it. I don't dishonor men in any way, shape, fashion, or form. And neither do I disrespect men in any way, shape, fashion, or form. And neither will I tolerate anyone in my life who would dishonor or disrespect me. But when we have this president of the United States or the corporations of America, along with this puppet government that we have set up, trying to champion itself as if it's the epitome of righteousness, and they want to play these word plays and these mind games with twisted and warping and distorting perspectives and viewpoints and point of views throughout what they call the international community. And then they want to try to use the arm and the force of the international community against someone like Russia, who Ukraine is right next door to Russia. That's in their backyard. I think that they ought to be able to police and take care of their own particular situations over there. And that's America's biggest problem that we have. I keep trying to tell y'all that we are the Roman Empire. You can keep calling yourself Americans all you want. You're not proud and you're not free. You choose to believe that illusion because you're delusional. And you've learned how to drop these words off the edge of your mouth, and yet and still every time you try to enforce the Constitution of the United States or any of the amendments, Bill of Rights, or the Declaration of Independence, the first thing that happens is this so-called corporation, this law, let you know how null, nil, and void this so-called fairy tale that you believe is just not happening because they have an alternative mindset. It's a shadow. It's a shadow government that's operating right out in front of us. And so for these people to set up there and try to champion that they're going to be supporting the international community when in direct opposition of the international community, the United States of America, not the people, but the government, not the people, but the government, went into Iraq, went into Iraq against the will of the people, and just literally decimated and tore up the whole country. And I'm telling you, they can blame the tyranny of the government and what they're doing all day long, but who in the world is going to rescue the American people from the present government that we have in place right now? Because there's nothing more tyrannical than people who are stage playing this dog and pony and circus show that we have over here in America, that the rest of the world has no idea exactly what's going on. World, don't even think about coming to this country, because this is one of the most wicked, immoral country that there is on the face of planet Earth. And I'm beginning to think that if China is so bad as far as what they call communism and stuff, then what the hell are we as a country? Because if China is so bad in communism, the way that they do their government, the way they're set up, I tell you what, the United States of America pales in comparison, because we're nowhere near the morality of Russia, because Vladimir Putin, he is not going to, against the will of the so-called international community, he is not going to sanction sodomy at all in that country. And they're trying to press him, the Americans, or let me say the shadow government, because it's not the people. And it's just a shame, the double standard that we have going on a daily basis. I don't care. The hypocrisy is just off the chain amazing. And what's happening in this world as we live today, that's why I advocate that if you're going to have any peace of mind whatsoever at all, and if you're going to have any chance for your children to grow up in this world at all, because once they get a taste of this world, especially if they've been raised right, and they've been, exposed to righteousness all their life, and then they get a taste that the flesh is alive over here, 99.9% of the time, they're going to bite of the fruit of lies, just like Adam and Eve did. And they're going to so-called enjoy the pleasure of sin while they pay for it for a season. So we hope that the principles that are in state, that are in fact, that are etched in the scriptures is true, which I believe that they are. Train up a child when he is young. When they get old, they won't depart from the faith. What we have here in America is we got these people who are nothing but gangsters, legalized, selected by the powers that be gangsters, trying to go around and police the whole world in their form of what they call democracy. Let's just go ahead and tell it like it is. We went over to Iraq because we wanted control of the region. We wanted a place where we could stage our military in this empire that we're building. We're also over there because we're after resources. China, Russia, and America are all in a literal run to go and actually do whatever they can to strip the resources of any country that has any valuable resources at all, because they're all trying to vie to be the superpower of the world. That is the truth. They can say it's about the way that the government's treating the people, but what the hell? What about the way the government treating the people over here in this country? Over in this country, everything it's about the children. It's all about the children. And when you come to find out about it, including people in their attitudes, they really don't care anything about the children. All they care about is causing people pain. The children is totally irrelevant. The children is just a front for a means that they have in their mind that they're not disclosing to unsuspecting minds. And everybody don't have that intelligence. You know, one thing about it, when you start getting into the world of politics, street smarts ain't gonna help you one bit. You start getting into this book, Street Smarts, ain't gonna help you one bit, not one bit at all. Wisdom, which is applied knowledge, is what everybody should be vying for today. I've come to learn, well, I've learned this over the years as being a pastor, is that people always expect more out of you than they're capable of producing themselves. That is the ultimate definition of a hypocrite. And if you want to keep your mind sound, you will not submit yourself to that type of tyranny nor judgment. You need to know them, no matter who it is, that has your best interest in mind. Usually they communicate, and usually whatever comes out of this mouth comes from the heart. But what does not, what is not clearly seen, that flies under the radar, is the thing that the Father has taught us all more than anything to judge, which is the intent. Very few people pay attention to the intent. Most people pay attention to words, but very few people pay attention to the intent of words that actually come out of the mouth, which comes from the heart. And you have to watch people today, because people, people are just utterly amazing. You know, in the last few years, I've had an experience with people who say that they are somewhat. And they think they're watching me, but not like I'm watching them. And I've learned a lot about humanity, and I continue to keep learning a lot about humanity. But America, you definitely do not need to believe what this country is selling to you any way, shape, fashion, or form. Now, don't make no mistake about it. Ancient Rome kept the people distracted because of entertainment. And if you notice today, every single time you turn around, there's a new movie coming out. A movie this, a sitcom this, a series in this, a movie this. And then you have basketball, you have football, you have baseball, and then you have hockey. And every time you turn around, there's something to distract you. The other day I was riding down the road listening to a sports talk station. And I'm listening. Now, mind you, it's supposed to be exclusively a sports talk station. But as I went down the road, you have to understand, I exercise self-autonomy all the time. So, and all of a sudden, I start to watch them venture off of the platform, the reason why they're there. And they start to get off into personal opinions and biases about politics, personal opinions and biases about certain things, the way that the country is run. A sports talk show. I mean, that's the platform, a sports talk show. You know, I'm a pastor, and I am not a pastor that the general public is going to like. Matter of fact, you're not going to like me at all unless you know what the Bible says and you have done your due diligence and study. That's the reason why people don't beat on this door right here asking Pastor Dow for open debates on subjects and stuff, because there is a reason. There is a reason. You don't sit up there and try to go pick fights with people or try to debate people who are stronger than you in areas. I mean, even wisdom teach, if you're going to go to war with someone, you need to consider if you have enough forces to be able to combat them that has double the amount of forces. And if not, then you look for conditions of peace. But we don't do that today. As a matter of fact, wisdom always seems to escape fools. I've said a lot in this video right here, and it's going to take more than one time for you to listen to and understand what I have been trying to tell you today. But don't be blinded at all by people. It's going to take you a little bit of while to know them, because by their fruits you shall know them, if you understand what that means. Get rid of religious perspectives. I know what the book says. I'm a man of truth. I'll always do what the Torah says. I will always obey what the Bible says. Now, many people are out of touch because they put their feelings and emotions above the scriptures, which when you do that, you lost all respect for me, and I don't care nothing about you whatsoever at all. And I think that you would do well to actually have that kind of hardline attitude in order to protect and preserve yourself from the wicked devils that actually fly on the radar, that's vying for your attention, lying in wait to deceive you. Be careful of men, because they will bring you before councils.